YouTubers, Brian Proctor back again with another video, and this is going to be a year in review of the Phicen Figures. If I'm not saying this right, if I'm saying it right, Phicen, I believe that's how it's pronounced. But anyway, around a year ago, maybe a little more than a year ago, I bought these figures. Now, I saw them online for a long time before I bought them, but I was always afraid to buy them. One, because of the price, and two, because it's rubber. These are rubber, and I was afraid that the rubber would end up drying and tearing or cracking. So I didn't buy it for the longest time, but I kept looking at it, and then when they finally came out with this figure here with the muscles, it was like the most muscular one, I decided to buy it. So I bought this one and the female, and it's been a year now since I bought them, and I decided to tell you guys because a lot of people have been writing about it and asking about it and where is it and where how much does it cost. So I said, let me do a video and tell you my experience from having these things for a year now. Now, I didn't buy any heads because I didn't plan on buying any heads, but when I first bought them, truth be told, I put them up for about 3 months, 3 or 4 months, because I didn't want to mess it up somehow. I still wasn't sure that it was not going to crack or tear or something. But after a while, I said, I have these figures. Why not take them out and use them somehow, some way? So I took them out, and I've been using them, not like every day, but I've been using them enough to get my money's worth. And so let's start out with the woman figure, the female figure. Now this one, I have really not used. So I would say 1 out of 10, I would say a 2 for her and maybe a 8 for this guy. So I really haven't used her. And one day when I took it out, I did something with it, and the arm, if you can see that, the arm kind of went backwards like that. I don't know. I was not playing with it and adjusting it and heard a snap or anything. It just decided to go back just like that on its own. So it goes backwards and forwards. Now, I don't know if that's a defect, but truthfully, when I bought this, the box was kind of beat up and it had no instructions. Well, let me show you the mailbox. This is the box that the mail came in, and it was pretty good condition. So the mail came with, number one, this little instruction package, I guess, instruction manual, I guess you could call it that. It came with some extra hands, make sure you can see this, and some kind of like wristbands and ankle bands, and some short pants and some penises. Yeah, as you see, I never used them. I just never even took them out of the box because this was drawing purposes. But when I got the woman, she came with nothing. She came with an extra pair of feet. Let me see if I can pull it out real quick. But she came with no covering, no instructions. So, and the box was kind of beat up, like you can see that here. Was just kind of like beat up. So I'm thinking it might have been used or returned because it came with nothing but her and a couple pair of feet in it. So that's what I'm thinking. She never had any coverings or anything, so that's why I never covered it in the videos. So yeah, now as far as it holding up, I would say the only thing that I see in her is this crease right here. It's hard for me to see in this camera because it's a little high for me. And maybe in the legs, from when you bend them, it's going to crease. And that was one of my things. Will that crease come back out? But this one stayed. But as I say, I'll have her, or her, I don't know why I call her, I'll have her just sitting on my shelf next to my drawing table like that. So it'll sit there for like months and months. So when it's sitting, it has that crease. So I mean, but that's not a bad thing. It doesn't really bother me, but that was one of my fears. Would it keep a crease, as in the creases started to crack and tear? And another thing about this, the hand just kind of like flops up and down. And as I said, I never use this. I don't think I ever took the hands off because they didn't have any replacement hands. But other than that, it held out pretty well. Oh, another thing is these things don't wash up very nicely. If you are drawing, you have it on your drawing table and you have some extra lead and you set it on there, it's going to pick it up like an eraser, and it's going to basically stay on that in that rubber. Now I tried to wash the male out, the male body off, and it really does not 100% come clean. but you know, that's just something you have to deal with. And these things, for those who are questioning whether to buy one of these things or not, these things are, they are heavy. They are really heavy, and they are definitely solid. So it's worth it. I think this was like 110. I think this was like 99, 98. And I got these from Amazon, and they might be cheaper now. I remember one subscriber wrote into me and said she got this guy for $50 off of eBay. Now I don't know if that was an auction that she won, or if it was one of those buy now prices, but she said she got it off of eBay. Now I don't know if it was this exact one or not, but she said she got it for eBay for $50. So is it worth it? To me it is, because I do plan on buying some more figures just to have. Now let's go over the male figure. Let's take this one out because YouTube monetization restrictions, they freak out sometimes. This guy is kind of like the workhorse for me. You know, if I use it, it's good. I don't use it all the time, but every now and then I might look at it to just check like muscle reference, like from the back or arm or something like that. But just go with the it really didn't crease anywhere. This guy maybe set in the legs here, but like I say, that's something I can deal with. But the one thing that is hard for me is the shoulder joints. The only bad thing that I had, the problem that I had with it, was the shoulder joints. Like if you look at this, the delt here and there, this one is going down at an angle, where this one is coming out, because the joints will sometimes lock up or twist up, and it's hard to get it back in place. So his shoulders are both supposed to be up like that, but sometimes when you move it, they drop down, and it's hard to get it. And it's almost like this, like what you see, and it's almost hard. It's really hard to get it back to where it's up, because when it's right, you can do a number of ranges or range of motion with this coming across. But once you do that, somehow it drops it like that. You see it drop down. Somehow it throws that connection off. And then, like right now, I can't get the arm down. The arm is stuck here. So you have to twist it somehow. And is that a tear? Oh, that is a tear. This is the first time I saw this. This is a tear in a year. Okay, bad review. So anyway, as I'm saying, it's hard to get that shoulder joint back up. You have to twist it somehow to get it back up. Okay, so this one's up. This one's still down. So the body or the arm will not cross the body when it's down like that, whereas this one is up again, so it'll cross all the way and probably go behind the head like so, which is great. But once that joint, I don't want to say loosens or it comes out of joint, it's just some kind of way that you have to twist it and manipulate it to get it back. You'll feel it once you move it around. I just don't know the workings of it. If I kind of knew what the skeleton actually looked like, I could probably lift it up and turn it and get it set back down. So again, this shoulder is down, this shoulder's up. So you have to work with it somehow, and I haven't really figured out how to do it. You just have to keep working it, and somehow there it is. So that would be my only downfall with this and my tear. And I just saw that tear today. Let's check the other arm. No. So as I say, it's been a year, and it's just now tearing. So I mean, but if you're going to buy it to dress it and to like set it up somewhere, it's great. Other than that, I have had no problems with it. It's still flexible. Just that those joints, you know, it still works. It's good. The feet, I don't want to say are loose, but I could stand it up before, my camera's above, and it will stay standing because the joints are kind of tight. But one of the feet are starting to loosen up, so it'll eventually tilt over and then fall. But yeah, that's just one thing. I mean, the more you use something that's jointed, the more looser it's going to become. But other than that, I would say it's definitely worth the money if you are trying to do comics and learn the anatomy. It's really good. As you saw, it has other hands that goes to it, which I never change really. I just leave the fist in there. And as I say, I only use it just for what, like serious reference, I guess. Like if you say the leg, look at the leg. If I need like the leg muscle, and this thing is like packed with muscles. What is it? It's a vein down here in the calf. If you can see that, so it's really good for reference. But as far as it holding together, I would have gave it a 10. Well, minus the girl, I would have gave it a 9 had I not saw that tear in the bicep. Now I have no idea how that happened, but I don't know if it's going to tear even more. Maybe in another year I'll do another review of it. But as I said, that was my fear, that this rubber would tear. Now to tear right here, I don't understand why. I could see in a joint, but I don't know. This is why I'm doing the review, so you guys can make your mind up and determine whether you want to get it or not. But as I say, these things are definitely heavy because it's solid rubber with the metal skeleton inside. And somebody did a video where they actually cut this thing open and pulled the skeleton out. That's a waste of money, but they did it. So that there is my year in review. So I guess if you constantly use it, bend it, twist it, the joints may loosen more, but it's still tight. It's not like it's going to drop, that those joints are going to drop or fall down. It's still tight. Now, if they come out with a stand where you can hold it and then maybe pose it, it would be great. But other than the shoulder joint, I have had no problems with any other joint in here. And as I said, it will get dirty on you. This one is, what is this one? This one is it's a suntan color. It tells you somewhere on this box what you're getting. And for some reason, I can't find it. Yeah, anyway, maybe it was a girl. Anyway, as I said, everything else is fine. It stays tight. It doesn't move when you shake it. You can pose it and it'll stay there pretty much forever. But as I said, the joint in the shoulders, and this particular, maybe it's this particular one, but that's just something to look out for. It will go back right. As I say, if you put it up, the arm up and behind the head, and you bring it back down, something will not slip back into place. And then you just have to kind of work it back into place and it works back. But other than that, I am pleased with it. And one day I hope to do some buy a couple more and do some giveaways with these. That's one day. Don't quote me. It won't be tomorrow or next month, but one day at 100 and 200 and some dollars. These things are still a little too rich for my wallet. But as I said, they're good for whatever you want to do, whether it be dress up or just use it for reference. I would highly recommend it. As I said, Amazon, eBay. So there are some other ones I didn't, and back to this one, I didn't want this one because it had the big breasts. It had the huge breasts. I wanted the regular size breasts because to me the balance is off. But that was the only one they had at the time when I bought it, so I bought that one. And I wanted this guy, the muscular guy. They have some that are less muscular, more what do you call it, like the athletic bodies, not the bodybuilding bodies. And I think I'm gonna get one of those. But yeah, it's relatively good, other than that tear that I just saw, and then her broken elbow. I do not know how that got there, but it's painful to watch. And her floppy hand, it doesn't fall off, but I'm afraid that the metal is breaking inside. But as I said, I think this one was used really because of the box and no instructions and no clothes. Because if you look online, I think they have like a thing that goes across her bra and like some short panties. But yeah, just have to make sure this new and not used. And if it doesn't come with instructions, send it back, get you some instructions. So that's going to be it for this short video. If I miss anything, I'll throw it in there after I finish talking. So all right, I am out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Added note, let's talk a little bit more about the woman in particular. If you're buying a female figure to dress up, that's fine. But as far as reference on this, I don't see too many curves in her to actually warrant wanting the female figure, because with the male, you know, you have your abs, you have your arms, you have your good back muscles. But with the woman, it's just basically smooth, and that's how a woman is supposed to be. But it just doesn't really warrant buying a female, and I don't really think that I'll buy another female. I'll just collect the men because, yeah, it's just not enough muscle structure in her body or in the body for me to spend 110 or how much ever the female costs. So yeah, that's it for the female. And the man, I can't say anything really bad about it because that for me this was perfect. And as I said earlier, I'm going to buy another one of this exact one, and then maybe a couple smaller ones, the athletic figures, because I think they have 3 or 4 body types. So I want another one of these to put up, especially since the arm is tearing, and some other body types just to have, and then maybe one day I'll buy some heads. So yeah, that's just it. That's a little footnote I just threw in there. All right.